and welcome to Keepers, sponsored by Sprint. My name is Matt Ufford, and you can tell I know a lot about fantasy football because I have a chalkboard and set pieces from Tron. They were on sale. We're going to week one, probably the toughest week of the year because we don't know what to expect from anyone. Sure, we all have preconceived notions of how people should perform, but NFL players rarely have the courtesy to perform in accordance to their average draft position. Jerks. And so as we go into the first week of games, my advice to you is this: don't overthink it. Don't give Darren Sproles a start over Adrian Peterson just because you're worried about the holy purple knee. Stick with your well-established stars for a couple weeks until they prove you wrong. For those of you who are eager to make changes, though, let's go to the trading block. This week we're focusing on running backs with expiration dates on their starting jobs. Sell high on Kevin Smith. Smith has 2 weeks on a gimpy ankle until Michael LaSure comes back from suspension and takes his job. Buy low on LaSure, who looked great in the preseason and should hold a prominent role in a top-flight offense. As long as he avoids the police, of course. Sell high on Rashad Jennings. Well, just sell. Jennings' stock is falling fast, as Maurice Jones-Drew will sap playing time from him until he gets back into Gabe shape and takes back his starting role. Buy low on Seahawks rookie Robert Turbin. Marshawn Lynch missed the final 2 preseason games with back spasms and is not a lock to start in week 1. Turbin has looked strong and quick to the hole throughout the preseason and rushed for 93 yards on 14 carries starting in place of Lynch against the Chiefs. Sell high on Isaac Redmond. Redmond has an injured ankle but will likely start until Rashard Mendenhall gets over his knee injury. In the meantime, keep an eye on Jonathan Dwyer while these guys are beat up. Dwyer ran for 147 yards on 28 carries in the preseason and looks to split time with Redmond to start the season. But hold on, it's time for the reality check. Before you go taking action on these guys, please keep in mind that I decided to keep Jamal Charles instead of LaShawn McCoy last year in one of my keeper leagues. Let's see how that worked out for me. In my defense, McCoy would have cost me a higher draft pick, but still. Man, I'm never going to forgive Jamal's knee for betraying me like that.
Duffed it.
And now for Sprint Unlimited Upside, the fantasy player guaranteed to go off this week. That man is none other than Shady McCoy, last year's top fantasy back who opens up the season in Cleveland against the Browns. Cleveland was 30th in the league against the run last year, then focused on the offense in the draft. Expect McCoy to get plenty of touches, especially in the second half. Up next, the weather report with Isaac.
That's great. Thanks, Matt. I have 2 words for you this week: retractable roof. Houston has it, and with this demon advantage, they have the ability to literally control the weather. We'll see how Miami does against this ungodly power later this week.
Time for Hire and Fire. I tell you 3 players who are owned in more than 50% of the fantasy leagues that you should drop, and 3 players owned in less than half of all leagues that you should pick up. At wide receiver, hire Devon Bess and fire Michael Crabtree. Sure, the Dolphins' passing game is awful, but someone has to catch passes when they're losing games, and Bess is the best option there. Crabtree's quarterback is still Alex Smith, and the team added Randy Moss and Mario Manningham in the offseason. Don't fool yourself into expecting anything out of him. At quarterback, hire Russell Wilson and fire Josh Freeman. The Seahawks rookie played as well or better in the preseason than Andrew Luck and RG3, yet you can pick him up off waivers. Great bargain for a QB2. Freeman is owned in 88% of leagues, and the only possible explanation you can give me for this is Transformers 3 made hundreds of millions of dollars. And at tight end, hire Kobe Fleener and fire Dustin Keller. Keller's a fine player, but he's playing in an awful Jets offense that didn't score a touchdown until the 4th preseason game. Ugh. Fleener, having played at Stanford with Andrew Luck, will be his quarterback's go-to outlet under pressure and on third downs. With the Colts passing a lot and losing efforts, expect his numbers to be considerably better than Keller's. That's it for week 1 of Keepers. Need more fantasy talk? Check out SB Nation's Fantasy War Room 6 days a week for live fantasy football advice. Your outdoor activity of the week? Attend a high school football game and be disappointed at how small and slow all the players are. Set your lineups. I'll see you next week.